When I'm done with these records, just set them right there.
Yeah.
Just moving them on.
Yeah. That's fine. Go ahead. What do you got?
All for one. One for all. Solid as a rock with swords in the air. The third Raven record. This is a fantastic record. Hung, Drawn, and Quartered is my favorite on this one. And of course, the Break the Chain riff. I love that. I've always loved that one. But my favorite record by Raven is Wiped Out. It's probably my all-time favorite new wave of British heavy metal album. Rock It Till You Drop is phenomenal too. Saw them on this tour, which became the Live at the Inferno tour, with Anthrax opening with Neil Turbin down at Wax Museum. It was a great show. This is a great record. This is a must-own classic record in the world of heavy metal. I Know My Name's Kingsley, and this is the Queen's Reich. This is one of the greatest EPs ever made. This band showed right from the start they were special. It's one of the most professional written records ever made. I had the 206 Records version by luck, and this is obviously they got signed to EMI and went on to do big things. Saw them at Twisted Sister in down at the Wax back then at this time, and they were amazing. This record is perfect. Queen of the Reich was on the radio. People thought it was Iron Maiden. A lot of people thought that was Iron Maiden. And I went, and first thing I got before I got the 206 Records was the tape, and I love this. This is definitely one of the best EPs ever made, ever. I still have my Queen's Reich campaign newsletter they gave me at the show. I still have the actual full newsletter, which was like a 3-page newspaper. I love Cindy. She's great. This is a great record. This is that Girls Just Want to Have Fun, maybe overplayed, but She Bop is the track for me. That's a classic. I remember some good friends of mine, Doomwatch from Pittsburgh, used to cover that. This is good stuff. You know, I never stopped liking stuff outside of the metal world. I'm a big Pat Benatar guy, The Fix, things like that I loved at the same time. And she was cool. She's always cool. This is a good one. She's very colorful, too. Lou Albano I think of when I see that because of the video. I was working at Waxy Maxie's when this came out, and the girl Robin that ended up firing me, she said, "You can't listen to this. You're a metal guy." I love this from the get-go, man. Lucky Star, Borderline, Burning Up. I mean, it's all here. Holiday. This was the big record, man. I didn't know who she was, and nobody knew who she was, but she came right out and blew my mind. You know, there was a couple records from this time that were on our playlist. We'd put them in the stereo. Back then, they still had the turntable where the guy that worked there would put the record on and play side 1 and 2. I must have heard this record at that store about 20 times over 2 weeks. This is great. My favorite song by her is Dress You Up from Like a Virgin, but this is fantastic. I still have a drinking mug, Madonna, from this era. David Bowie, he's hit or miss for me. This one I know Stevie Ray Vaughan played on the title track, I believe. And for me, I like his Scary Monsters record. I like that Ashes to Ashes song. Never anything against David Bowie, but he's hit or miss for me all the way down the line. Huey Lewis and the News. He played some harmonica on the Thin Lizzy Live and Dangerous album. He sure did. He's deaf now. I know how it feels. Huey, great record. Heart of Rock and Roll still beating. You know damn well it is. Cool record. Love the videos when we get on the beach and have their heads in the sand and stuff. That's just good times. That's the 80s Rudy I love so much. Well, look who it is. This is the other record that was in the store at the time. I love this record. I played the shit out of this. Pride and Joy is my hit. I really like, what was the other record he had? What was it? Couldn't Stand the Weather. It was a little bit before this, right? And he had that song, Cold Shot Babe, That's a Drag, and Scuttlebutton, which was an instrumental. I like Stevie. It's a shame he died young. Hell of a guitar player. He played Wax Museum, but I didn't get to see it, but I have seen the video on YouTube from it. Culture Club. Oh, the good old Culture Club. This dude's gayer than a Kirk Hammett sleepover, but his record was wild, man. I mean, he was so popular. Everybody wanted to look like him all of a sudden. I'm looking at these songs. I know you miss me. I know you miss me. I know you miss me, blind. That's my favorite song by them. It's good stuff. For what it is, I guess the guy in the sea shouldn't be listening to Culture Club, but I actually do. And right behind where you are currently, Rudy, there is a bumper sticker in the little thing, and I'll show you when we're done. U2 War. Never a big U2 guy, but I'll be honest, this is probably their best stuff. New Year's Day is what I call the sun shines on a dog's ass, because I never really liked them too much, but I love New Year's Day. That melody is great. Great song. This is definitely better than what they became, obviously, but never a fan of Bono. Thought he was a jerk-off from get-go. ZZ Top. They lost me on this one with that jigga 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 noise behind all the songs. I don't know. I didn't like this one much. Sharp Dressed Man. I'm a DeGuayo guy when it comes to them. That's the one I love. I guess it did their thing, and they were still ZZ Top to a degree, but this was kind of like their MTV, let's kind of sell out a little bit record. Pink Floyd, another band. For every song I like by them, there's 10 I don't. Never been a big Pink Floyd fan. A lot of people that know me as a music guy are surprised by that. This one, I couldn't tell you one song on this. Maybe if you played it, I would know some of these titles more, but nah. Welcome to the Machine, that's my track from Pink Floyd, which isn't on that record. Such a letdown record. Too Fast for Love I heard on Midnight Monday Metal, and I loved it. That's a great record. One of my favorite U.S. rock metal records of all time. This is too bubblegummy. The drums are too arena rock on it. There's a couple good ones. For me, the ones I really like, Bastard, Danger, and probably those two, and there's Red Hot. Those are the three that stand out. But stuff like Knock 'em Dead, Kids, stupid. Don't do nothing. Helter Skelter sucks. But boy, they sure took the world over. I was going to go see them with Ozzy, Bark the Moon, and Wasted. And I got there late. And by the time I got there, Ozzy was on the encore. I'd missed all the Motley Crue and all the Wasted. I had second row tickets, best seats I ever had at the Capitol Center. And I didn't even see the show. This guy, this was popular. For sure, this was popular. But I never was big on him. He had his name changed a couple times. It was John Mellencamp, John Cougar Mellencamp. I don't like him. I don't like his attitude. He's a kind of a jerk. I've watched a couple interviews. He's full of himself. And I don't know. I just never liked him. And I don't really like this either. Couple songs. I actually met Annie Lennox's chiropractor. He did Annie Lennox and he did Jerry Garcia, and he's like, I'm going to give you a couple free things, and he showed me pictures of him working on her, so it was legit and all. They're okay. If they're on the radio, I'll play it, but I would never buy it. These guys. Everybody's, you love speed metal, King. You love fast stuff. You got to hear this. I put it on. It was Boogie Woogie. I was like, this isn't that fast. It's like sped up Ted Nugent and some Judas Priest. I thought the drumming was bad. I thought the singing was bad. The leads were bad. I thought the arrangements were bad. I didn't care for it. You know, I mean, if I had to pick a Metallica album to have, which I don't have any, it would be this one. But these guys, probably one of the most overrated bands that ever existed. But their movies, like Some Kind of Monster and that other one, The Making of the Black Record, some of the funniest things since Spinal Tap. Hilarious, just the crap they do. But, overrated. I was in line to get Born Again tickets with Black Sabbath Gillan, and they said, Dio album's out today. I said, what? They're like, Dio did a solo album. And I said, okay, what's the name of the album? And they were like, it's called Holy Diver. I said, what the fuck is a Holy Diver? Nobody knew at the Hex. We were waiting in line for tickets for Born Again. And I was like, what's the band called? They're like, it's just called Dio. And at first I was like, that's kind of weird. But I ran down to Penguin Feather after we got our tickets for Born Again, which was Sabbath and Quiet Riot, and picked this up. Great record. I wish the production was a little heavier. It's a little tinny. My favorite track, Caught in the Middle. I love Caught in the Middle. That's a great song. There he is, the voice of metal. This guy, he had the drummer for Scandal, who I know Rudy met and hung out with a little bit. The drummer from Scandal played on this too, and I think he ended up in Scandal and this. I'm not sure which one he went. Billy Idol's okay. I could take him or leave him. It's kind of like the Eurythmics. If it's on the radio, I'll play it, but I've never bought any of his stuff, not even Generation X or any of that stuff. The third record from these guys. Photograph was so popular. That just describes 83 so much. That whole MTV, Things Get Colorful. Saw them at the Capitol Center, Crocus Open, Gary Moore. Also, they were fantastic in concert. They did a great cover of Traveling Band from CCR as an encore there. This one, it's good. I don't like the electronic drums and all that. The songs are still there, though. It's obviously a little bit more polished and high and dry, but it's still kind of like that. Stage Fright being my favorite. This was the beginning of the end for these guys, but I still like it. Oh, I love these guys. These are one of my favorite. My favorite song of all time is actually by these guys. Fight the Good Fight from Allied Forces, but this is a great record. All the way, me and my wife just listened to this one. All the way, A World of Fantasy, and Writing on the Wall. They can come up with some emotions that make you go back to when you were a kid. They just hit certain notes that are so good. Rick Emmett's got to be one of the best singing guitarists that ever lived. These guys are great, and this record's great too. I actually have it on 8-track. Robin Trower, back up. You know what? I've never heard this one ever. Of course, I love the old stuff. I love me some Day of the Eagle, Bridge of Sighs, and all that kind of stuff, but I've never actually heard this record. Back it up. I guess I better back it up and get to listening to it. This guy here. I'm in the mood for a melody. I'm in the mood. I don't like this record. The songs are not there for me. I just never liked this. Led Zeppelin's hit or miss for me too. His voice sometimes is good, and sometimes that I'd rather shoot a duck when hear that. Stevie Nicks, oh boy, she went solo. That's her second one, I think. The first one was what was that? Prima Donna, Belladonna, something Donna. This is all right. I listened to it. I wouldn't own it again. I may have it on 8-track somewhere. I almost want to remember. I think Stand Back was written by Prince, I think. Might be wrong, but I think I'm right. Oh, you put me down, that's what I said. Oh, this is Graham Bonnet on vocals. Now, Michael Schenker Group second record, MSG, is my second favorite record of all time. My first being Uriah Heep, Abominog. My second favorite. I like this record. I heard it on Midnight Monday Metal. It's not in league with the second one. First one's good. I think that's a little overrated. The second one is what I love. Attack of the Mad Axe Man. Things like that. Are You Ready to Rock? But I love the title track from this one. Unfortunately, Ted McKenna, the drummer on this, he died. He went to have a hernia surgery and he bled to death on the table. They couldn't get him to stop bleeding for like 6 hours. Uh-oh. Double arigato, Mr. I love Mr. Roboto. This album is pretty fucking sad-ass weak. Other than that, and the story and what they did, he fucking killed Styx, man. He put him in opera houses and wrote 10 songs about robots. And they were like, we're going to do plays. They were so big on Paradise Theater. So popular. And he's like, we're going to be robots now. IBM and Apple computers and all that shit. And it was bad. It really was. It was fruity as shit. But I love Styx. They're one of my favorite bands. Not this record, though. I'll stick to Blue Collar Man. Joe Walsh. I know some of this album. Not a lot. Joe Walsh is hit or miss for me, too. I like him. I think he's a pretty neat guy. I think Ace Frehley tried to copy him a lot on his solo record. Another guy I like that does this kind of style, too, at least the one album I like is French Kiss from Bob Welch, which was before this album, 70s record. This one I don't know that much. I'd like to revisit this with the Robin Trower, though, and I will. Oh, yeah. They opened for Def Leppard, and this was a big Screaming in the Night's a great ballad. It's a great one. I don't really be that ballad guy, but this is great. I really like on this one, I like Night Wolf, Headhunter, and Russian Winter. They're a little bit too Randy Bachman friendly on a couple albums, and I really do a lot of Guess Who and Bachman Turner Overdrive type of stuff, but this is a good record. I still think their best record's Hardware, though. Steve Pace, a good drummer on that. Never liked these guys, can't stand them. They lived in Arlington where I did. These guys were full of themselves and jerk-offs. I'll never support Minor Threat. Just being that close to them, I don't like them, anything they were about at all. Molly Hatchet. Oh, yeah, good old Danny Joe Brown was coming. This is the one, which one? This is the one that had this Fall of the Pacemakers. It's Pacemakers now. Pretty good. Don't remember much of these songs so much. Is this when Danny came back to the band? Danny Joe Brown came back to the band because they had the other guy, I can't remember his name, but he was pretty good. He was Beating the Odds, Bloody Reunion, stuff like that. It's a power play. It's okay. Danny is the best voice for this band. He died of diabetes. I think he died without legs. That's a shame. One of my favorite records of all time by anybody, the best drummer in the history of heavy metal single bass, Leonard Hayes. This is a must-own. There's something weird about this album, and if anybody watches this ever or sees this interview, every time, except for maybe 5 times, he says it about 30 times, when they sing the chorus to Mean Streak, it says Mean Streech with a CH to it. I believe me and my wife I swear 3 days ago, we're just listening to this in the car, counting them out. There's some kind of a vocal effect that makes it go from streak to screech, and you'll hear it. You won't be able to not hear it now that I said it. This album's perfect. This is 100 out of 100. Oh my God, I love this record so much. And they're still around and they're still kicking ass. Dave's the only one still alive, but this is one of my favorite records ever. Got this in North Carolina while we were visiting my mom's sister in her nursing home, and there was a girl next to her that was in a car accident, and she had a plate in her head. And me and my sister got creeped out. We were like, why does she have a plate in her head? And we thought it was like a plate you eat on. We were 15, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. But I was playing this on cassette in the car on the ride down. Okay, balls to the walls. I like this album. I don't love it. It's hit or miss, song to song. Restless and Wild will always be my accept album, though Breaker's pretty goddamn good too. It's good. Saw them open for Kiss at Baltimore Civic Center here. Look it up. They left the lights on the entire show for accept. No, they didn't even turn the lights down when they played. Don't know why. Never understood that, but that was good. Mike Smith from Deceased said he saw the show at the Bayou on the day off between those, and he said it was one of the best shows he ever saw in a club, and I bet he's right. Waiting for a street fight, clock strikes midnight. First time I saw a Lita Ford video was on a show called Super TV. And they did the video for this song. I caught it right in the middle of the song. And I was like, that's the girl from the Runaways. And I love, this is her heaviest record for sure. That's a great tune. And she also jammed with, what's his name was on here? Neil Merriweather, who did some pretty weird rock on his own. I got some 8-tracks of that guy. It's a good record. This is definitely good. I do like Dancing on the Edge some too. She lost me when the Ozzy's cover, and that Kiss Me Deadly is not very good. But this is good stuff. And they stopped producing this cover because they got in a lot of trouble at Mercury Records because they said it was too outlandish. So they changed the cover to something softer, and they've never reissued it this way. I had the promo poster. Journey's hit or miss for me. I like Journey. I don't love Journey. Something about his voice sometimes just chaps my ass. I don't know what it is. People love him, and I like him, but sometimes his voice don't do it for me. It's always who do you like better? Steve Perry or Lou Gramm from Foreigner? I'm definitely a Lou Gramm guy for Foreigner. This is okay. Good guitar playing, of course. Seen them live a couple times. It's, the greatest hits of them is huge. This one, of course, Separate Ways is big. Cinder My Love is probably my favorite on here. Faithfully, I'd rather eat a human shit than listen to that. I never liked Joan Jett. I don't like her. I met her. I had a girlfriend. We went up to Hammerjacks to see her, and we actually got on the bus, and she told me she was going to have her, she said, I'm going to be drinking Jack Daniels out of her pussy within the next 10 minutes. She was really jerk-offish to us that day, and we left, but I've never really liked her music. I don't know, something about her. People say she's the real deal and all that, and she probably is, but for some reason to me, she's always come off to me as not the real deal. Something about her. I don't know what it is. This one, I don't even remember. What was oh God, Fake Friends. You don't win when you have fake friends. I remember that. Tossing and turning, horrible. I'll pass on that one. Saw this tour, Fastway, open at the Capitol Center. It was Fastway's singer's birthday, and I guess they gave him a pie, and he threw the pie thing out to the crowd, and Mark from Deceased got it. I didn't go with Mark, but we went and saw this one. This is the one that me and Doug had to walk home from Capitol Center home after the show because our ride never showed up. AC/DC was a little disappointing at this show to me. I didn't love it. Angus is the man. He'll always be the man. But Fastway, I thought, took the show that night. I love the title track on this one, Flick of the Switch. The last AC/DC album I would sit down and listen to all the way through. They really got repetitive. The Police, another hit or miss band for me. I do like them. This one's pretty weird. It's got some cool, neat sounds to it. Them and Rush were kind of battling to do that kind of sound, that kind of futuristic thing. Again, I probably wouldn't buy this record, but I'll listen to it. It's okay. One of my favorite 80s records right here. I love this record, minus Thunderbird, the ballad, which is for Randy, and I can live with it. This is a great record. I like it better than Crew or any of those records, Rat, any of that. I like this one the best. I love this. Run for Cover, Breathless. They should have made a single out of Breathless. They fucked up. But I love this record. It's the only thing you need by Quiet Riot. The stuff before it's pretty goddamn horrible, and the stuff after it's goddamn horrible. And look at this. Now we find Fastway. This is one of the best debut records ever. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep it up with All Fired Up, and moving forward, it got weak, and then Dave King left. What a find in Dave King, though. And Fast Eddie left Motorhead because of the Wendy O. Williams single. He thought they were turning into like just a mockery of a band, and he went and did this. And I saw them twice in a year. They opened for Maiden, Peace of Mind with Coney Hatch, and then they did the AC/DC thing. They didn't blow Maiden away, but I think they were definitely on par, if not better than AC/DC that night. This record is phenomenal. This is a 100 out of 100 record. And if you bought the original press, it came with Far, Far From Home as a bonus 7-inch in it, which I do not see inside this copy. So this might be maybe a little bit of a later press. Violent Femmes, never a fan. This one just never did it for me. I don't even want to talk about it. Here we go, the second album from Twisted Sister. A good record, I like it. There's some good stuff on here. This is when I saw them a couple times at the Wax Museum, Queensryche and stuff. They just about were breaking into Stay Hungry because one of their debut songs at the second show was We're Not Gonna Take It. And I was like, God, there's a lot of cowbell in this song. But obviously that's the next record. This one's good. Title track is really cool. Kids Are Back is great. Like Knife in the Back's good. Ride to Live, Live to Ride is my favorite on here, I'd say. Suzette's song is a little sappy. But they were good. I remember the review for this in one of the magazines I saw said, Twisted Sister, you can't stop rock and roll, but if you could, you'd start with Twisted Sister. That was the review. If you didn't own this record, you weren't a metalhead. This drum, welcome Nico McBrain. This is my favorite Iron Maiden album. Die With Your Boots On. My God, this record is unbelievable. Still Life. They got to get that one back in the set. This is so fucking good. This tour was unbelievable. Like I said before, Number of the Beast was great, and they parted ways with Clive Burr, and then came Nico, and this record is, the production on this one is the master. Where Eagles Dare, what a fucking goddamn production. Maiden is still my favorite band of all time. I love this. This record is better than Creatures of the Night. People are always pushing Creatures of the Night, which I think's iffy record. Some couple good tunes on that one, but this one, Exciter is the tune. That and 1,000,000 to 1. The Paul Stanley stuff is great. To look at them to make you sick to your stomach for eternity. But this is a good record. They were great in concert on this tour. In Baltimore Civic Center. They were really, really good. And I like how eventually they let Eric sing some of the stuff, you know, that was Gene was singing before. The last really good Kiss record. Oh, this one, Kerrang! Loved this one. I thought this one was soft. I thought this was a little too soft for me. They really started getting a little more AOR-ish and lightening up their sound. Strikes is going to be the one for me. Tomcatton's pretty good too. But it's okay. I don't listen to it a lot. I might revisit this with the other ones we were talking about earlier. Oh, my old buddy Saxon. I'm always upstairs listening to them. This record is great. Before I heard this record, what happened was there was a live King Biscuit and they had sax on there. I remember Nigel Glockner was doing a drum solo. And they're like, we didn't come all the way to America for 75%. We want it all. We want the cheap seats. And that was a great live thing. So I ran out and got this. And my other band, October 31, we played Power and the Glory was our closer almost every show we ever did. Unless they cut the power on us and we didn't have the glory to go with it. So there was no power or glory sometimes, but it's a great record. I Red Line's another one of my favorites. This Town Rocks, the double bass of Nigel. It's good. This is classic Saxon right here. Love the cover too. Love that blue. Oh yeah, this one, a lot of people don't talk about it for speed, but this was the one. Marty Friedman coming up. Creeping on into Hawaii and doing this. He'd done the Vixen and he had all that other stuff he was working on with females, and he actually got Gary St. Pierre, who had one of the highest vocal ranges. This one, I love The Pit and the Pendulum, and I love Silent Nightmare. His voice is very high, but Marty Friedman, what a hell of a guitar player. Maybe one of the worst album cover arts I've ever seen, but I would like to get a full tattoo on my back of it. I think that'd be pretty cool. Great record, Shrapnel. I'm surprised Mike Barney put this out. It must have been because he knew how good Marty was. I have a great live tape from that era. Oh, this guy. We just saw the movie. Good movie. I lost a lot of respect for this guy. I do think he did a lot of things he shouldn't have done with children. It is what it is. All these songs are on the radio every day of your life. So, you know, it is what it is. It's not the best record ever made, but it's the most selling record ever made. And that should really be Voivod War and Pain. Should be the most record ever sold. But we all know that's not going to happen. It is what it is. Oh, this guy, he turned into a werewolf. He recovered nicely when Randy died for this record. It's okay. It's nowhere near Diary of a Madman. And Jakey Lee is definitely not Randy Rhoads, but it's pretty good. On this one I always liked is You're No Different. It's a good tune. It has that like late Sabbath when he was leaving there, like when he would do stuff like You Won't Change Me on Technical Ecstasy. Has that like other side of him, that changes side. And Bark at the Moon is a great opener for sure. So Tired was a fun video for what it was. A big step down from Diary because that's one of the best albums ever. I'd probably give this one like an 85 out of 100. Ooh, one of my favorite songs of the 80s right here. Goodbye to You. I remember Bon Jovi was in this band for just a little while helping out them. He's actually in one of the videos. I think he's on the original demo of that song. That song and Love's Got a Line on You were two big hits, and they did this thing as a real cheap EP back then. They had this thing, and it isn't on this, but it was a sticker that's like $3.99 or something. We want you to try this. They pushed it so cheap so everybody would try it. Goodbye to You is one of my favorite 80s songs for sure. Good record. I actually made myself a shirt of this, but I don't have it anymore. I think I wore it so much. And I guess she was going to possibly sing for Van Halen at one point. Oh, we got another one. I guess you got two. This was right on his heels, and they made him a hit. The Warrior was big. That's the song, supposedly, that the guy that did the McDonald's McMassacre kept playing on his radio while he was killing people, and that McDonald McMassacre was the Warrior from Scandal. He was all about that song or something. But this one's good. It's time for Scandal to get popular, and let's get some people to help them write songs and stuff, so it's not as good. Kind of like a Quarter Flash thing where they just kind of, they had a little bit of an edge, but not much. But I really like Patty. I think she's really cool. And then you got, Once a Rocker, Always a Rocker. I can't stand fucking Joe Perry. Never could. I can't stand his guitar playing. I couldn't stand him in fucking Aerosmith. Fuck Joe Perry. I don't like him. I don't like him or Steven Tyler. I think they're both rock star cocksucker, overrated, whatever. I'll pass on this. I never cared about this fucking dude, and I still don't. And fuck you, Joe Perry, and your project.